Anyway, I was wrong. Hey, what's going on? Behind me is the Talaria Sting, and a few days ago I posted a video about changing the oil on the Talaria Sting, and I did it a certain way, and the video got flooded with comments about how I was wrong. Well, not flooded because it wasn't my most popular video, but a few of you commented. I got them on the video, I got them on a Facebook group where I posted the video, and somebody even DM'd me on Facebook to tell me I was wrong. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drain the oil that I just put in the bike after riding it 50 miles, because it's not like a quart of this oil isn't 25 bucks or anything. And I'm gonna see the amount that I drain out, and then I'm gonna see how that compares to the recommended amount in the manual, which is posted online. I just wanna know if the way that I changed the oil was wrong or not. If it is wrong, I'm gonna delist the video because it's actually bad on YouTube to delete videos. I'll unlist it, but I'll still link it here so you can see that old video and compare and contrast. And if the oil that drains out comes in less than the recommended amount, then I will go ahead and add oil the way that it was recommended. I have this little measuring cup here that shows milliliters, so let's get after it. So the first thing you want to do is remove this bolt here. There's one exactly opposite. You don't need to remove these bolts down here. This is just going to swing down, and we'll actually use the bash guard to hold the cup that's collecting the oil. Next, I'm going to make sure the bike is nice and straight up and down level to make sure that the oil drains out evenly. Now we're going to remove this cover here. There's one bolt here and one bolt back in there. All right, so let's take a look at the gearbox. So here's the filler cap, take that off. This is the drain plug, so we'll remove that. And then this is the gearbox. So here's a reservoir, and it moves diagonally up this way, and then you can see it back in here. So if we're looking at it from far away, it kind of moves in that slant. So what the manual says is when you take out the filler cap, you should have oil between the bottom indicator and the top indicator, and that's what I'm going to check first before I drain any oil. So let's get this removed. It's easy enough. I'm just using my multi-tool, but you should be able to loosen it and then loosen it with your fingers. All right, so going by the manual, it says to use the filler cap as any sort of indication that you have enough oil. If you look at the top of that cone shape down to the bottom, that's the high level and the bottom is the low level. You can see that there's a drip of oil actually coming off of the cap, telling me that I have plenty of oil in the reservoir. It's probably impossible to see in this video, but if you look down inside, there is also oil coming up to the threads of the filler cap. So judging by those indicators, it seems like I have enough oil in the gearbox. Now the manual recommends 120 to 150 milliliters of oil. So I actually want to take this video one step further. I'm going to drain out my good oil and see how much it fills up and see if I can get 150 milliliters of oil into the gearbox without tilting the bike up, which is what some of the comments recommend. So here we go. Okay, so I loosened the drain plug. It's always fun. And we'll let the oil drain out. So while we wait for that oil to completely drain out, let's look at the oil drain plug here. It's actually got a magnetic end, so if there's any metal or anything coming from the gears, it would collect on this plug. But as you can see, we're pretty good to go here. I haven't wiped it off or anything, so I'll wipe it off and see if there's any metal on it. So I cleaned it off. It was just a bunch of old oil. I couldn't see any metal shavings. Something that I did fail to mention in my previous oil change video though is you have to be super careful with this drain plug. As you can see, it's fairly easy to strip. Luckily this isn't stripped. It has a few dings on it though, which has me concerned, but this is an 11/16. That's the best fit for this, so just wanted to mention that. And it looks like our oil is draining out, so let's fill this up and see what 150 milliliters of oil looks like and if it measures up to what I put in on my last oil change video. All right, so there's 150 milliliters of oil. based on what's dripping out of my bike in this does look like a significant amount more. Also, let's take this opportunity to talk about the oil. I got this oil off of gritshift.com. In the manual, it says you need a CL5 oil, but that's a typo. Oh yeah, and speaking of typos, and I believe it's GL5. Well, this is GL4, and I posted the information about this on the Talaria Facebook page, and somebody from Grit Shift did chime in and say that the GL4 is just fine. In fact, they recommended it over the GL5. Again, I bought this off of gritshift.com, and I do feel comfortable putting it back in my bike. All right, there's 150 milliliters, and that's what drained out of my bike. Full disclosure, I did spill a little bit, but not that much. It would still come in significantly under the recommended 150 milliliters. Another thing that's shocking is I've probably only ridden this 50, maybe 75 miles since the oil change, and the oil already looks like that. So let's figure out a way to get all this oil into the bike. Okay, with the drain plug back on, we're going to start filling the bike. I don't have a funnel with a nozzle this small, so I actually use this eyedropper flute thing. It's a long process, but it's the best thing I've found in my house to fill the oil back up. So we'll go drop by drop. All right, looks like I'm conceding from my last video. I probably only put about 50 milliliters of oil in there, 100 milliliters short of the recommended amount. That's how much I have left, going drop by drop. And as you can see in here, maybe you can see the oil reaching the top of the threads there. So looks like I do have to tilt the bike to get the recommended amount of oil in there. All right, so I got my bike suspended. I'm about 13 inches off the ground with that front tire. The recommended in the comments was 30, and I can see why. It looks like you want to get these circular things kind of level. They're still tilted down a little bit, but I'm going to start here and see how much more oil I can get into the gearbox. But looks like I was wrong so far. Hey, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. So here we are trying to make it up. Again, you may not be able to see this, but oil has definitely drained down in. So looks like I got some more filling to do, but I won't bore you guys with those details. Well, there you have it. All 150 milliliters into the gearbox. I only had to raise my front tire up 13 inches. So luckily for me, because I didn't have any more room on my cinch strap. But yeah, we are full of 150 milliliters of oil in the gearbox. And one thing I realized halfway through is that my flute here, it holds about 3 milliliters, so it would take about 50 of these drops to fill it up. It's good to know for next time. Or just get one of those big kitchen syringe things. That would definitely work and go a lot faster. So yeah, there you have it. I made a mistake and made a video that gave out bad information. I'm going to unlist that video again. I will link it so you can watch it for reference, see the mistake that I made. But this is the correct way to change the oil in your Talaria Sting. So thanks to those of you who corrected me. I want to use this platform to show my mistake and correct it and make sure that the right information is out there on the internet. Oh yeah, one thing. Make sure you put your fill cap back on before lowering your bike, or you'll have about 100 milliliters of oil all over your motor and the ground. Anyway, that does it for this video. I hope that you trust me in my other videos. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Give it that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Do you forgive me? And of course, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. Have a great rest of your day.